Hello YouTube, Yu-Gi-Oh! Tube 26 here, coming at you with my first video being a deck profile. And this deck profile will be on Gimmick Puppets, as you can tell. Gimmick Puppets is a way to bring out rank 8s, well, high rank monsters really easily. I will get on with the video now. First off, 3 Gimmick Puppet Jury Doll. You want Jury Doll mainly because send it to, if it's in the graveyard, banish 1 Gimmick Puppet monster and bring this back on the field. You can only use it once per turn. But by banishing 1, you can bring it back, special summon it. You can only use it once per turn, but it's really good for rank 8 plays easily. Send it to the grave with a Foolish Burial or Scissor Arms, which I will get to later. Next, the 3 Magnet Doll. You run Magnet Doll mainly because it's a Cyber Dragon, level 8. Your opponent has a monster and you only control Gimmick Puppets. You can special summon it from the hand, as many as you want. Now, I do want to point out right now that cards like this I still need. They are proxies. So if you have any of these, please send me a PM. But back to the video. The deck. Gimmick Puppet, Magnet Doll. Special summon it. Really quick. Really good for another fast XYZ play. Next, the 2 Gimmick Puppet Egghead. Egghead is good for the fact that you can discard 1 Gimmick Puppet monster from your hand and target or change it to a level 8 or inflict 800 to your opponent. And sometimes in a grind game you want to deal that 800 to get them that much lower and closer to beating them. And sometimes you want that extra level 8 to bring out a high rank 8 monster. Next, you want to run 2 Gimmick Puppet Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty's effect is when this card is normal summoned, you may special summon another Gimmick Puppet monster from your hand. You can only use this once per turn, but it's a really good way to bring out another level 4 Gimmick Puppet or monster for a rank 4 play, which you only run 1 rank 4, which I will get to later. Next, Scissor Arms, because Scissor Arms effect, you send 1 to the grave when it's summoned, normal summoned, and send that Jury Doll to the grave, banish a Gimmick Puppet, and bring it back. And it's a 1200 meter. It may not seem like a lot, but sometimes it can be. 2 Mystic Tomato, mainly because the majority of the deck is dark, so Jury Doll, Magnet Doll, not Egghead, but Scissor Arms and Humpty Dumpty, they're all darks, and with the exception of Egghead, they are all under 1500 attacks, so yeah. Next, 2 Machina Cannon. Discard any number of machine-type monsters and special summon it. The more machine-type monsters you send to the grave, the better you can have for that Jury Doll play later on, and just fuel for the graveyard in general. You can bring back stuff with some spell cards in here, and I will get to that later. But bring this out by discarding, and it gains 800 attack for each card discarded. When you do that, you can special summon an attack and say your entire hand with machines, and you special summon this card. You get rid of 5 machines. That is a 4000 beater right there. That's pretty good. Next, Gear Changer. Say you want to go for that 88, and you only have 1 or 2 level 8 monsters on the field, and they're both Gimmick Puppets. Summon this card out on the field. Target one of those Gimmick Puppet monsters and change this card to a level 8. Really helps out. Next, Dark Arm, because like I said, most of the deck is dark monsters, and you are banishing constantly, and so you will have quite a bit of dark monsters. So you can get rid of them and bring out Dark Armed and banish a dark monster, pop any card on the field, and as long as there are dark monsters in your graveyard, you can continuously use this effect. Next, Gen X Ally Birdman. His effect, you can special summon it from the hand by bringing back one monster on the field. So say I had a Jury Doll out and a Humpty Dumpty out. Okay, and I wanted to go, and I had this in my hand, and I don't want to discard one to make it a level 8, but I want to go for that Star Eater play, and I summoned this. Say I summoned it, and I didn't realize it until after. So, you can bring this card back to your hand to special summon Birdman, and go for that level 11 Synchro. Really helps out in the long run. Yeah, just go for that Star Eater play. I normally go into Star Eater. There is another Synchro, but I will get to that later. Next, Triple Junk Puppet. Special summons one Gimmick Puppet from the graveyard once per turn. Really good if you need, once again, another level 8 monster for that rank 8 play. To rank up Argent Chaos Force. And why 2? Because it counts as 3. When this card's in your graveyard after you've used it, or your opponent pops it, and you bring out a level or rank 5 or higher XYZ, you can bring it back to your hand from the graveyard, which is why it counts as 3. Even though you have 2. But the only downside is, with this, is that it is only you can only use the card, the effect to bring it back from the graveyard to your hand once per duel. So keep that in mind. Alright. The next card in the deck is Trade-In. You use Trade-In mainly because you have a lot of rank 8s, level 8 monsters in the deck, like Jury Doll, Magnet Doll, and Machina Cannon. You can get rid of a level 8 really quickly, and draw 2. And also, just to let you know, guys, just as a reminder, I'm still looking for these cards. If you guys have them, please let me know. And on to the next card. 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, because you need popping power. You have Dark Armed, MST, and a Heliopolis. So yeah. Infernal Reckless Summon. Mainly because you bring out a Jury Doll and your opponent has a monster, you can activate this card and special summon as many Jury Dolls as possible from hand, deck, or graveyard. When you do that, your opponent gets to special summon as many monsters as the card that they have on the field at that time. So keep that in mind. Next, Dark Hole, because sometimes you need that extra popping power to nuke the field other than that Black Rose later on. Little Darkness. It's a card that you need to roll the dice with. If you have a dark monster in your hand, you can draw 2 and banish the dark monster. If you don't have a dark monster in your hand, you draw 2 if you activate this card, and if you don't draw a dark monster, you banish your entire hand. Roll the dice card. It's a roll the dice card right there. Foolish Burial. Get rid of that Jury Doll just to send it to the graveyard for future uses and later on game. So yeah. On to the traps. You run the triple Threatening Roar, because Threatening Roar protects your monsters. Since most of the monsters in your deck are 1600 attack and less. So yeah, protect your monsters or you're gonna get beat down. Really bad. Mirror Force. I know it got put at 3. I used 2. Mainly for the fact that I've only needed to use 2. And I haven't needed to use any more than that. Bottomless, because normal staples are Bottomless and Torrential, of course. You always mainly use these in Mirror Force, no matter what. And the last card is Escape from the Dark Dimension. Target one banished monster in your one banished dark monster and special summon on the field. It's like a Call of the Haunted for dark monsters in the banished zone. So yeah, that's the main deck. Now on to the extra deck. I will start with the numbers in their pure form. You have number 15. Um, Detach one, target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. If it's an XYZ, they take damage. Next to number 40, Gimmick Puppet Strings, mainly because detach one and put a string counter on everything except for that card, and including cards you control except for this one. And when you do that, what happens is at the end of your opponent's next turn, end phase, they take damage, or all the cards are destroyed, and they take damage times 500 for each card destroyed. Next, number 88. Its win condition is kind of hard to pull off, mainly because you have to have no spells and traps. And if you don't have any spells and you need spells and traps in this deck, and so if you have a spell and trap, you can't use it. It's plain and simple. You can't use it, which I personally don't like about that effect, but it's a 3200 beater, so still. On to the Chaos ones. Number C15, target a monster, destroy it by detaching one, and they take damage equal to the attack. To number C40, mainly because bring out that number 40, and if you don't want to wait that turn and you have Argent Chaos Force in your hand, detach one from number 40, put string counters on everything, Argent Chaos Force into C40, it destroys everything with a string counter, and then you get to draw one card. Number C88, because of the wound condition, is amazing on this card. What ends up happening is you have to, if your opponent has 2,000 life points or less, and this card has no XYZ materials on it, then you then end up, you can then win the duel. If this card has no XYZ materials and your opponent has 2,000 life points or less. So yeah. Onto the non-gimmick puppet monsters. You want a Gear Gigant, mainly because you detach one and get one level 4 lower machine type monster. Mainly I use Birdman. Googly Eyes Drum Dragon, for the fact that detach one and you get a 1000 boost, so it's a 4000 beater until your opponent's next end turn, or end phase. Then onto the proxied cards I don't have yet. Heliopolis, Popping Power, Ultimate. Dear Lord. It's overpowered in this deck. Neo Galaxy Eyes, because it's a 4500 beater and you detach one and it gains 500 for each XYZ material destroyed on XYZs. Divine Dragonite Program, mainly for the fact that the card that you target is unaffected by card effects until the end of the turn. And then the two Synchros, Star Eater and Black Rose. Black Rose is to nuke the field. Star Eater is because it's a 3200 beater and it cannot be targeted, it's unaffected by card effects during the battle phase. So, yeah, that is my deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and please comment down below or PM me if you have any of the cards on my want list, or if you want me to do any of the deck profiles, in the future, pack openings. Just let me know, and I will try to get that on here for you guys. That's it, and see you guys later. YugiTube26 out.